Hello, I am Miss Ann, and welcome to Speedy Science. Each week in this program, we do a fast and fun science activity that you can fit into your busy schedule. This week, we are going to be finding fingerprints. For this activity, you will need some baby powder, a brush, some tape, construction paper. It works best to use black construction paper for this because it pops really well against the baby powder, but you can use any darker color. You will also need later in the video different objects. I'll be demonstrating today on a glass, but you can use different objects that you have around your house. The first thing you want to do is take your actual fingerprints just from yourself. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush and put some baby powder on it. And then you can go ahead, just gently dust and brush the baby powder over your finger.
Do you see how I have it smooth so that you can see all the different lines and swirls? You want to have it like that, and you want to try to get rid of as many of the big clumps as you can.
Once that's done, you're going to go ahead and take a piece of tape. You're going to stretch a piece of tape over, and then that's right your finger, and then you can go ahead and stick it down on top of your finger. You want to have it so that the sticky side is against the finger, and you're going to press down and then gently peel up. Once you have it set, you're going to go ahead and take your piece of tape and stick it down to your piece of construction paper.
Do you see how you can see all the different swirls and lines? That is my fingerprint. It looks just like that, and now I have a record.
If you want, you can go ahead and write down which hand and finger it is. Then you can go ahead and repeat this for all of your different fingers and thumbs. And there you have it. Now there are all of my fingerprints on a piece of paper. The next step in this activity is to go ahead and take fingerprints off different items around your house. Make sure you have a grown-up's permission for any items that you use for this activity. The items that work best are going to be hard items made of either plastic or other tough materials. I'm going to be using this cup, but other things you might want to try would be a remote control or a hairbrush. Just make sure you have a grown-up's permission. So this one, we're going to go ahead and find fingerprints that exist in objects that we touch and hold. For example, I just touched this part of the cup. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead, put some baby powder on your brush, and gently just kind of flick it on top of the item. You want to kind of do this flicking and shaking part to get it to stick on different spaces. Then you want to look and see where the baby powder sticks the most.
Do you see how the baby powder is sticking most to certain spots? That's because the oils from my hand that touched the glass left marks in there that we can't see. But once we move the powder around, we'll be able to see those fingerprints.
Once you have the powder, you're going to want to gently give away the excess powder powder so that you can see the fingerprints that were left by the glass. Now remember, this can be really tricky, so if it takes you a few times, don't feel bad. I'm going to be very, very gentle and delicate.
Do you see that swirling pattern right there in the middle of the vision? Right, that's part of my fingerprint. We found it, so you want to go ahead and keep gently clearing away so that you can see it. If you have to start over, don't feel bad. Just go ahead, wipe the baby powder you have off the glass, hold the glass again, and then retry.
Once you found the fingerprint, you're going to want to go ahead and take a piece of tape and gently lay it over the fingerprint. Go ahead and lay it and press it down and gently peel up and stick it onto the piece of paper. See? Once you do that, you can go ahead and compare that fingerprint to the others you have, and you can see which finger made that fingerprint. You can go ahead and repeat this with different objects around your house. You can also repeat finding fingerprints with different people who live in your house as well. And then you can see and compare your fingerprints to what you find. Who touched what items you found in your house? Now that we saw what happened today, let's talk about why. Fingerprints are left behind by the tiny different swirls in all of your finger pads. Your fingers have oil in them, so when you touch objects, you leave behind that little oily trace. Everyone's fingerprints are different, even in the same family. In fact, each and every one of your fingerprints are also different from each other. Isn't it cool? Go around and see how many different fingerprints you can find. Be sure to take a picture of your fingerprints and let us know how your investigations went, and send them to us at the awesome Merrimack Park Public Library's Youth Services email address. I can't wait to hear from you. Bye! Hello, I am Miss Ann, and welcome to this week's bonus activity. In today's video, we used baby powder to find different fingerprints around our house and to take our own fingerprints. This was an activity and not a science experiment, but you can turn it into an experiment by using different types of powders. To make this activity an experiment, find different powders around your house with the grown-up's permission that you could also use to take fingerprints. In today's video, we used baby powder, but some other powders you might use might be flour or cornstarch. Then, take your fingerprints from the same hand with the same kind of tape and the same amount of powder each time. Then, compare them and see which fingerprints come out the clearest. Does one type of powder work better than finding fingerprints than another? Be sure to email us and let us know. I can't wait to hear from you. Bye!
Hello, I am Miss Ann, and now we're going to show you some amazing books from the awesome Merrimack Park Public Library's Youth Services Department that we think you'll love. Because today's video was all about finding fingerprints, today we're going to talk about some mystery stories. You can get these books by either coming into the library and going downstairs and taking them off the shelf, or you can place them on hold online or over the phone for curbside pickup or home delivery. Please contact the awesome Merrimack Park Public Library's Youth Services Department for more information. Our first book today is Detective Blue by Steve Metzger. This is a really fun mystery story in which the little boy Blue has left his nursery rhyme to become a private detective. In this case, he has to find the missing little Miss Muffet, who's not on her tuffet where she usually is. This is a really funny book because along with being a mystery story, it has tons of great jokes about the nursery rhymes we all love to hear. Do you think you can find Miss Muffet? Find out in Detective Blue by Steve Metzger. Our next book today is King and Kayla and the Case of Found Frag by Joey Hillestad Butler. In this book, Kayla and her dog King are visiting her grandma and find a lost puppy. They have to work together to find the puppy's owners and bring him back home safely. This is a really funny book because it's told from the perspective of King the dog. It's really cool to see how King solves the case versus how Kayla solves it. Do you think they'll be able to find Frag's family? Find out in King and Kayla and the Case of Found Frag by Joey Hillestad Butler. Our next book today is Charlie and Frog by Karen Kane. When Charlie's parents go around the world to save an endangered animal, again, they dump Charlie off on his grandparents who live by Castle on the Hudson. Charlie is exploring the town looking for something to do when an interesting woman gives him a message that he might be in danger. So, Charlie teams up with local girl Frog to help save this woman, if she might need saving, and solve the mystery. This is a really cool book because along with being a mystery, it also shows what an all-deaf school is like and is a really cool insight into deaf culture. Do you think Charlie and Frog can solve the case? Find out in Charlie and Frog by Karen Kane. Our last book today is Solve This, Forensics by Kate Messner and Anne Rupert. In this book, you'll learn the science behind forensics and how real detectives use science to solve crimes. This book is filled with lots of different mysteries, and as you solve each mystery, it talks about the different types of evidence you collect and the results. You can use this to help solve the culprits in each of the cases. It also has fun science experiments so you can try the activities at home. Do you think you can solve the case? Find out in Solve This, Forensics by Kate Messner and Anne Rupert. Thank you so much for joining us for this week for Speedy Science. Remember, these are just a few of the mystery books that we have at the Ossip Merrimack Park Public Library's Youth Services Department. For help finding these or any other books, please contact us at the Youth Services Desk by email over the phone, and we will be happy to assist you. I can't wait to hear from you. Bye!